Hey everyone, Tamari Lana here from Fab Collab Live, and I'm super excited today because we have the wonderful Shakura S'Aida, and she, for those of you who don't know her, she's an incredible, oh hello, and bonjour. Hi, Shakura S'Aida. So I just said we're so excited because today we're with Shakura S'Aida, an incredible singer, blues artist, performer, a fascinating woman who I can't wait to bring on. And we'll delve into it. But, you know, Brooklyn-born, Swiss-raised, Canada-based. What's that all about? So let's bring her on right now. I'm so happy to see that you're here. For those of you just joining today, also, just so you know, Fab Collab does we're a new presenting arts organization, and we do weekly interview series with women in the performing arts industry from all different backgrounds. And here is Shakura.
Wow.
What's up, Shakura?
Nothing. What's up with you?
Nothing, I guess. And everything all at the same time. You know, that's how it is.
Yeah.
How's your day going?
It's going good. It's going really good.
Yeah, I love these glasses.
And thank you. My puppy's sleeping, so we have I don't know how much time before she starts joining in on the talk. So
that's all right. You can bring her in.
Yeah.
You can bring her in for sure. So I was just saying that, you know, according to your bio, you're Brooklyn-based, Brooklyn-born, Swiss-raised, Canada-based. Can you tell us just a bit about that, where you're from, what you're doing?
It's all fake news. It's all alternative facts, and it was my last alternative facts before the new year, the new AUG.
Okay, so where were you born now?
I was born in Brooklyn.
Okay.
Yeah. I was born in Bed-Stuyvesant, Brooklyn, Bed-Stuy, do or die. And then we moved to Toronto when I was a young kid. And then we moved to Switzerland for 3.5 years. And then we moved back to Toronto, and I've been here ever since.
Why were you in Switzerland?
Because my parents decided that they wanted to go try out life in Switzerland. My dad's Swiss, so it seemed like a logical thing. You know, let's go hang out in Switzerland. And apparently, I might be speaking out of turn, but apparently they got there, and 6 months later, my mom said, "That's it. I don't want to be here." But it took 3 years to get a visa to come back into Canada.
Even though you were already here?
Yeah, because once you give up your immigrancy thing, then you're done, right? So yeah.
Oh, Canada. Well, I'm personally glad that they finally let you back in. You know, they should have called me. I would have said, bring her back right away.
I know. I don't think you were even born there. I got to be honest.
Debatable. Yeah. We'll talk about that later. Hey, there's Danielle. Let's say hi to Danielle, Devlin, Candace Major Music. Hey, Danielle. My mom says, you know, I already love this and it's barely started. Well, that's because you're already a Shakura fan. Oh my God. Okay, so hey Leah, hey Alia, guys. Hey. So, you know, just a quick recap. We're here with Shakura, and Shakura, that's not a recap at all. That's pretty obvious. But anyway, doesn't matter. Moving forward. Tell us a little bit about, you know, your music, what you do, what you sing.
My music is authentic. It's whatever I am in the moment. Yeah, you know, this whole thing about
that is such a good quote. My music is authentic, Shakura.
Yeah, it really is. It's who I am in that moment, you know, and how I choose to interpret it. Telling me that I have an interview with you.
Love it.
I really would like to get away from this whole defining of genres, especially because as a Black artist, the definitions that they have for our genres, our indigenous genres of music, have allowed people to keep us in a very specific place. And if we don't fit that mold, then we've been absolutely homeless in a way. So my music has been rooted in blues. It is American rooted music because that is my roots. But certainly it's also very reflective of my time in Switzerland, my time in Canada, my time with people of a very, you know, multiculti global, you know, environment. You know, I love that word, multiculti.
I know. I almost forgot about it. Hashtag multiculti forever.
Multiculti, especially because you're not supposed to use it anymore. So, you know,
you're not supposed to use world music either anymore. There's lots of things you're not supposed to
use. So that's why I'm using it totally.
Okay, got it. I think that's why people love you.
Yeah, I'm completely appropriating that. It's multicultural, worldly, but seriously, I mean, growing up in Toronto,
Oh, man.
I went to high school here and college before I got kicked out. And and I think if you
Oh,
grew up
I missed
here,
that. I almost missed that. You said that so quickly. Okay, we can go
oh
back to
yeah,
that if you want or
oh
don't
yeah, we
want.
can go back to that totally. Um, but you develop, especially if you grew up in the core of Toronto, in Mississauga, in Scarborough, any of those overlying areas, definitely not Oakville, but maybe Burlington. You grew up listening to a lot of diverse music. You heard music that was South Asian. You heard music that was Chinese based. You heard music that was Caribbean,
Mhm.
and Caribbean is such a wide blanket of the music that came, so I'm very aware of that. I guess the kids today would be hearing more music that is from the African diaspora, which wasn't the case when I was in school, you
Mhm.
know. And so as a musician, you automatically go towards those things
Mhm.
because you're eating the foods, you're hanging with these people, you're smelling the smells, and you're enveloped by all of these different cultures. And it's not even so much an appropriation of it as it is just a natural growth,
Mhm.
of our senses. My
I like
daughter
that.
is my thank you. My daughter's 30, and she went to a school out at Jane and Lawrence for 1 year, and she came back with this accent. My daughter has been to Jamaica once in her life. Okay, yes, her dad is Jamaican, but my daughter's been to Jamaica once in her life. And my daughter came home with this accent that all kids, all black kids, and some white kids who grew up around blacks have. It's a very distinctive Toronto accent. And it's sort of like a patois. I don't even know how to describe it. It's sort of like they use certain things, like,
Would it
they'll
be?
say ting.
Can you
Huh?
do? Can you demonstrate?
No, I can't. I really can't,
I
because
can't.
I used to get so mad. I'm like, where are you from? Because this accent was like, yeah, like, so things are like all of these
I got
different
it.
things. But it very much was all of these first and second gen kids hearing the accents of their parents and
Mm.
then melding it along with the accents of their friends. And it still is a very specifically Toronto thing that you can hear. Luckily, my daughter has grown out of it, but at the same time, I've learned to respect it.
I mean,
But I
isn't that
didn't.
kind of beautiful though? Because it's such a Toronto thing and it's authentic, I guess, in its own
Yeah.
way, right? Because they're kind of wanting to respect their parents' traditions and culture and language. They don't really know how, they're not from there. They're doing their
Mhm.
best and then they're getting influenced by others. It's kind of beautiful if you look at
Yeah,
it
I
like
don't
that, I
even think
guess.
it's a matter of wanting to as much as it's what they hear when they're at home,
Right.
and they're trying to find their own identity.
Yeah.
I definitely, I mean, I'm as Brooklyn as they can come, but when I got to high school and I was surrounded by Trinis, Tobagonians, Jamaicans, St. Kittians, all these people, I went home with a West Indian accent. My mother was like, I know you better not, because she's like,
Yeah.
so I did the same thing, although mine was probably a little bit more authentic than my daughter's. But it
I hope
really
they're
is.
listening. I really
Oh
hope
yeah,
they're
no,
here.
she's not. They're totally not on social media. But yeah, I think it definitely is this thing of wanting to find your own voice
Yeah.
within this space of differences,
Hmm.
trying to find the commonality, and if there is no commonality, inventing one. So hey, that's what my music is. It is
Right.
it
That was
is
the answer to what music do you sing? I just want to acknowledge Lady A being here and say hello. That's incredible.
Hi,
I'm a
Lady
fan.
A. I love
So that's
you.
so cool. Hi, everyone. Is it Western CI? I went there
Yes,
briefly.
it definitely was Western CI. You know the accent I'm talking about.
That's Ali, originally from Pakistan. So did
Yes.
you get that accent while you were there? Just
I wonder,
I
does he
wonder.
still have it?
Probably not, but you never know.
Yeah.
So, that's so interesting what you're saying about that blending of that, like becoming Toronto accent and that everything, because that's kind of like what I think about the future of Toronto music. Like what is that going to sound like in like 300, 500, 1,000 years? I'm constantly thinking about that. And I think we're still in like that defining moment of creating that sound. We don't have it yet, right? We don't know like what the Toronto sound is. But I think like people like you, like me, if I could honor myself and put that myself in the same category in terms of music community,
Absolutely.
you know, then like we're still like forging that, and we're still taking bits and pieces and mixing them and putting them together. So, you know, just as we're on that topic, oh, I know that accent. I did. It's addictive. Oh my God, I want everyone to send a little clip of them doing this accent
Oh
and
my
share
God,
it
I
on their
need to hear it
stories.
again.
Please, please. So
I
what do you
love
think?
you too, Lady A, always and forever.
Oh yeah, love it. So that being said, wait, can we just go back for a second and say like, why'd you
Yeah.
get kicked out of university?
I went to Sheridan. So I was going to be a language interpreter when I was in high school. And I had this really amazing music teacher, Mrs. Caddick, who I just adored. And I always talk about her because I believe that it's important to honor the teachers that give us air and light and encouragement. And she was like this most dramatic Mary Poppins that you ever seen. She always wore red lipstick, had her jet black hair tightly in a bun, and wore clothes that flowed. She's probably, if I think about it, she's probably the inspiration behind me always wanting to wear things that flow on stage, so that when the wind
Cool.
picks it up, yeah, because I'm all about the flowies. Like give me
They're
something
gonna say
that
I'm all
flows.
about the flow, and then I was gonna
Yeah,
call Adam, our rapper friend, and get him to write a line about that.
yeah, I'm all about the flow. But she said that I should be a singer as opposed to an actor. I was thinking about acting. I really enjoyed acting. And she says, you'll always be an actor, but you need to be a singer. You need to go study singing. So I applied to Sheridan
Oh,
College and got in. And within the first month of being there, and I really hope and believe that this school is not like this anymore. But within the first month of being there, they said to me, first of all, we're going to be doing the play Showboat.
okay.
Um, Second of all, this is back a very, very long time ago. And then they said, we're going to let you play. I don't even remember the name of the character, quite honestly, but it's going to be the last time that you're allowed to sing Black for the rest of the year.
Huh?
And that is the very definition of my year at Sheridan. Um, this classification of I came from an environment. I went to Monarch Park, Hale Monarch Park,
Oh yeah.
and we definitely knew that we were Black, white, Asian, Italian, Greek, anything and everything. It was amazing. Koreans, Chinese. We had
Yeah.
multicultural, serve the food of our countries and do dances and showcase our cultures. You know, it was a really amazing thing. But I had I had never been called Black like that.
Like
Um,
so negatively.
I I no, I grew up on Supertramp. So for someone to say that, you know, this is the last time you're going to sing the Black, I didn't know what that meant.
I still don't
And
know what that quite means.
girl, you and me both, and let's just let it go with God. But it really defined my time at Sheridan. That, you know, I was
That's
told I was the
insane.
first Black girl they'd ever met without rhythm in the tap class, which was true. I didn't have rhythm, but to qualify it with my race, with my Blackness, put me in a place of insecurity that took me a
Well,
long
yeah,
time to get
of
out of.
course.
Yeah, so
That
I
first
last
comment would have put me in security for like the rest of my
it did.
life.
It really did. It didn't, but it definitely did. What they meant was, here's what they meant. And I had a really great vocal coach in there who taught me, learn the song straight first. This is when Whitney Houston was first coming out. You know, she was big at that time. So everybody was trying to sing like Whitney. Fame was in, you
Mm-hmm.
know, so everybody wanted to sing, you know, like all of these
Mm-hmm.
famers. So what they meant was learn the song straight without all the riffs
Got it.
and then sing it and
But
acquire
that could
your
go
own
for
style.
anybody. I mean, I should do that as well. You know, like that that that's not relevant in my mind to Black or white. That's
No, it
like
isn't.
that's in general. My mom, who's watching right now, she's an ethnomusicologist, and that's like one of her fundamental principles. Mom, correct me if I say anything wrong about you, but you know, like learn it as it is first. This is what she's taught me as well. Learn the tradition, learn the line, and then embellish. But that has nothing to do. She wasn't like, don't sing so white. You know what I mean? Like, it's nothing to do with color or skin or race in my mind
No,
at all. I'm so shocked
that's
to
what
hear
it
that.
was. That's what it was. So I lasted for a year. I didn't apply myself. I didn't do my best. I wasn't motivated. I wasn't
Yeah, how
inspired.
could you be?
And I lasted for a year, and that was it.
I'm surprised you lasted that long, Shakura.
Yeah, but you know what? Every single experience that we go through in life makes us stronger if we allow it to.
Yeah.
And that experience made me stronger. It made me more clear-headed about how I wanted to define myself and the
Mhm.
people that I wanted to mentor me, you know. And
Wow.
so I went out and found mentors unintentionally, but intentionally. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Consciously,
Well, you knew how to
subconsciously.
filter them
I knew how
after
to
that.
filter them. Yeah, I didn't even have to because my spirit automatically knew who would nurture me, you
Oh,
know,
they.
and I've not been disappointed with any of my mentors.
Can you name us some?
Who, my first mentor, first time I went to a jam session, I was jamming on stage with Archie Aileen, Dougie Richardson, Kingsley Etienne, and Betty Richardson. And after I finished singing God Bless the Child, they sat where I was sitting with my friend, and they said, you know, I've never seen you before. Where are you from? And talked to me. And then they told me everything I'd done right and everything I'd done wrong,
That's the best.
everything I needed to improve on.
That is
And
the
then
best.
it was the best. It was the
Yeah.
best because it wasn't spiteful. It wasn't mean. It was just matter of fact. Here's
Hmm.
what you need to do. And
Hmm.
then a couple years later, I had the blessing of working with Archie, Joe Seeley, Salome Bay, Jackie Richardson, and Ron Small in a play. And I learned more from those people in the year that I worked with them than I probably learned in my entire life.
Wow.
Um, how to be a community, how to support each other as women, because Salome Bay wrote the play and directed it. Her husband, Howard Matthews, produced it along with Archie and Joe. So I really learned about working with people that you respect, lifting each other up, respecting each other on stage, sharing the stage in a
Hmm.
kind and authentic manner. All of those things I learned during that time.
Wow. So from
Yeah.
there, how did you kind of take that and mold it into your solo career as Shakura S'Aida?
From there, I didn't do much with it. I got to be honest. It took me a really long time to incubate. I loved boys. And I say that intentionally. I did not love men. I love boys. And so I spent a lot of time around boys, you know, running around boys.
Did you
And
like boys to men? No, I'm joking.
it's
A
sort of,
terrible
it
joke.
was,
Let's delete that.
unfortunately, it was the alternative. It was men's to boys, you know,
Oh
men
no,
who had a boy mentality is what I meant.
I got you.
Yes, yeah. So I think that and just
Happens to the
partying.
best of us.
Thank you. I think partying, you know, that period of time in the 80s was the Cameron House. We were doing Beatnik Beats, which was started by Tom Davis, who now owns Stockyards Barbecue up at
Cool.
Christie and St. Clair, and his partner, Charmaine, who used to own the Cameron House. We were, I mean, house music. We were house musicking. We were singing. It wasn't serious enough for me yet.
Hmm.
It wasn't a part of my core. It was something that I took for granted. And it took me losing it to regain it and regain a respect for it. You know, so it
Wow.
was many, many years later that I
How did you
actually,
lose it, if I can ask?
I got married. I,
So still the love for boys.
yeah, I got married. I had kids.
I got it.
Um, I, um, I went through a really, really, really bad breakup
Mm.
and had to suddenly raise a 1 year old and an 8 year old on my own. I went on welfare. Um, I went to straight jobs so I could make ends meet.
Hmm.
And after not even fighting, but just
Hmm.
working, and being really successful at a number of jobs, I sort of realized that I was successful for other people.
Mm.
And how am I raising these kids and teaching them that they can be whatever they want in the world? And here I am working for other people. So I quit my
Wow.
jobs and started singing. Yeah, yeah.
Do you remember that moment that you had that thought? Like that very, there's
Yeah, I
like
do.
those moments, right?
I, I do. I finished one contract and I was about to start looking for another one. And I went, what am I doing? what am I doing? I'm phoning up companies and asking them for $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 for an organization that, yes, I believe in, but it's not my spirit. It's not my soul. It's not my heart. What am I doing? I could be asking them for money to support me. I should be asking people to support me. I'm good enough. And it was that realization that I was good enough, that I was good, that actually started. And that was 2005. I worked my last straight job. And in 2006, I wrote in a book that I'm no longer afraid to admit that I want to be great, that I want to be as great as God intends us all to be. I'm ready for my greatness, and I'm grateful for my greatness.
Wow.
And a year later, minus a day, I was standing on the stage of Montreal Jazz Festival in front of all of those people, like thousands and thousands and thousands of people. So yeah.
That's an incredible story.
Hi, Richard. Richard's a stellar.
Hi, Richard. Stellar Cell
Does
Repair.
great work, amazing work. I love you.
Everyone, go to him. Go to him if you need it.
If anything's wrong with your computer, your phone, if you just want to talk to somebody who's really good at tech, call this man.
He'll give you a discount, Fab Collab discount. Just saying.
Passcode word multiculti.
Oh my God. You're killing me, Shakura.
And his wife actually runs Okie Dokie. You know the oat milk?
No.
You know, do you drink
oat milk? Yeah.
So she runs a company called Okie Dokie.
Who does?
Which is oat milk, Richard's wife. So yeah.
So get the oat milk while you're getting your phone repaired. You can go buy some milk.
Yes. Absolutely.
And you can be listening to Shakura as you do it on your walk. Just saying. Okay, so you're saying 2005 was your last job. That's like an incredible story, and I hope everybody who's watching this and who will be watching this after we post it again hears that and takes that to heart, and really, if it changes your life, like, let us know, because that's a life-changing story and life-changing statement that I think I'm going to sit with and take to heart even, and I hope everyone does too. Thanks for sharing that, Shakura.
Thank you.
So. Yeah, of course, any day, anytime. So 2005, 2006. Now, I did read that in 2008, so not very far later, that something, incredible happened to change your career. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, this whole cycle of believing in yourself, of knowing that you have a path, and then turning around and can't get a gig. 2007, I had 3 gigs. I cold called probably about 10 to 15 festivals. Hi, my name is Shakura S'Aida. I've been singing with this person and that person. I've been singing with some very top white men who ran bands. So I felt that they had legitimized me. And yet I got 3 gigs for that whole of 2007. The Montreal Jazz Fest, Thorold runs a festival called the Canal Bank Shuffle. We're the only festival to hire me other than Montreal Jazz Fest. And I believe Mont Tremblant might have been the 3rd.
Yep.
And so I did these things, and around fall, I heard
it disappeared for a second. We're back. Sorry. Okay, so keep going. I was worried we lost her for a second. I'm like, yeah, loser. Okay. So we lost me. I'm back.
So I heard about this competition called the International Blues Challenge, and it was being held in Memphis. So I got the Toronto Blues Society to sponsor me. And then I heard from everyone that you're not going to get anywhere. It's not going to lead to anything. No Canadian band is going to win. You can go if you want, but it's really not about anything.
Those all kind of sound like signs to go.
Oh, listen. For me, it was, that's nice. Thank you very much. I take every no as a thank you. You're telling me who you are and what you need and what goes on in your reality. I appreciate that. Thank you. And then I go and do what I know my universe is intended for me. I don't begrudge anybody their truth, their reality.
Every no is a thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Every time I'm going to remember that like every day now. Every no.
Yeah. Yeah. Everyone says, you know, I didn't like that outfit on you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. And you don't even have to say it. Just smile and go, yeah.
Appreciate that.
Okay. Yeah. I appreciate your truth.
Oh
But
my
yeah,
God.
so I my birthday was coming up and I asked everyone to donate money so I could take my band down to Memphis, raise $5,000.
Hey, my
Between
birthday's
money.
next month, everyone. Just saying. Just saying, my
Hmm?
birthday's next month.
Might as well tell them the date now.
February 27th.
February 27th. Okay, that's day 2. And what do you want money for? Where are you going?
You know, next album. Let's
Okay.
Womack. You know, oh, I got lots
Okay.
of things.
Let's put
Don't
that
even
out
worry.
there. Let's put that out there. So yeah, so I had saved some money, and then the rest of the money I raised, and I took my band and we went down to Memphis. Shamak Ali, who was originally from Memphis, Donna Grantis, Lance Anderson, and we needed, and who else did I bring? So we hired a bass player down there, and Jackie was his name, Jackie Clark, and I didn't even know what to expect. You know, I was being told in Toronto that I wasn't a blues artist. And here I am in this, all of a sudden in this city that is known for blues, R&B, soul. And I'm surrounded by over 100 other bands from all over the world.
Wow.
And we performed on a stage with 9 other bands for a 2-night period. And then we had a final night. And so I came in first in my venue, and then I came in second overall. And
Yeah!
it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing because I have no idea what happened. I had no expectation of placing. I just wanted to go down there and showcase and hang out. And because of that, I met a gentleman by the name of Thomas Roof, who ran a record company in Germany. And we connected. And a month later, after the competition was done, he called me. Candy Kane, who was a blues artist, international blues artist, had just found out that she had cancer, and he needed someone who could finish her tour.
Oh,
Could I
wow.
come? So I flew over to Europe, and from that moment on, from 2008 until now, I've been to 30 countries, toured 30 countries. Yeah.
Where's your 31st going to be?
You know,
Post-pandemic.
I really want to go to the continent. I really want to go to the continent and actually really just spend a lot of time there performing. I think one place that was on my list that I didn't get to was Japan. I would love to go to Japan.
That's like the opposite of the
yeah,
continent.
yeah, but I also
So
believe that it's
everywhere.
still possible.
You know, flamenco is like outside of Spain, Japan is kind of like the hub of flamenco, surprisingly.
Really?
Yeah. So I want to go to Japan too. Let's do a joint tour.
Let's do it together, and we'll do some
Fab
sort of
Club's gonna hook it up.
collab. Seriously, I love it. I love it. Yeah, I'm in.
I can't wait. I can't wait. Okay, so by the continent, I'm assuming that you mean Africa. What we
Yes.
now call Africa.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. Yes.
And have you been there? Have you toured? Have you performed at all there?
Yes, I've been to the tip of the continent, which is Morocco. You know,
Yeah.
I've been there twice, and quite a few years ago, Kelly Clark and the Mighty Popo started planning a festival in Rwanda, and the very first open air festival in Kigali.
Cool.
And I was part of the planning team.
Awesome.
And so I went down there and had the most amazing, life-affirming experience, starting a festival from scratch.
That's
And
awesome.
I mean, you would have to have Carrie on here to talk about the negotiations that went on, you know, with kingpins in order to get the equipment, and how people were threatening to take the equipment back on the day of, and
Oh
how
my God.
equipment wasn't working and it was raining, and the red mud that still stains my rain boots, which I refuse to throw away.
That's the song lyric right there. The red
There
mud
it
that stains my rain boots. Yeah. You know, we would love to talk to her. If you want to put us in touch, and if she's open to an interview,
Yeah,
we would
she's
absolutely
amazing.
love
She
to hear
runs the
from her.
Calgary Folk Fest, and
Oh, Carrie Clark from Calgary Folk Fest.
Carrie
Yes,
Clark.
I do know her.
Yeah,
She
she's
started a
amazing.
festival in Rwanda?
Yeah, along with Mighty
Wow.
Popo. Mighty Popo's dream was to have a festival in his home place. And so
Wow.
we started the Kigali Festival.
That's
Yeah,
incredible. I never
yeah,
knew anything about
yeah.
this.
Yeah, it was absolutely amazing. We raised money from, shouldn't say we, Carrie, Popo, a lot of amazing festival people, Sandra Boutel, Shauna DeCartier, all helped raise money. Doug Cox, all helped to put money into this festival to get it off the ground,
Wow.
and it's still going. It was probably one of the most amazing things I've ever done, and the most amazing part of it was being the stage manager and one of the production managers, and running around doing things all day, negotiating with people, speaking French, and trying to communicate with people who didn't speak French. And at one moment, I had to be up on stage singing and performing, and got to perform with Popo. Basically, like on because I wasn't in stage mode. I was in, oh my God, what do I need to do when I get off the stage? What band's next? Like all of these things. And this gentleman, Lion, and I sang together. We sang No Woman, No Cry. And it got time for
Love
us to
that
do
song.
chorus. And he sang out, no more genocide, no more genocide. And the crowd, even to this day, the audience, the crowd just started yelling and cheering, and it was this, it wasn't a moan, but it was a moan, like the cry that came up, the roar that came up from the audience. And then we were just all singing no more genocide. Most important moment, I think, that I've ever experienced, where a people are able to declare
Hmm.
that they're in a place of healing, and that they're not going to go back to that place. That's something I pray for everybody, that they're able to have that moment, that true moment of healing, which I
That
know
is an
Rwanda
incredible
works very
story.
hard at. Yeah.
Yeah. And if anybody finds that online right now, please post the link so we can, if there's any footage or images of that, we'd love to share that on our Fab Club for people to kind of catch a glimpse of. And I
Yeah.
just have to say, I saw Amanda saying how much she loves us. We love you back, Amanda Martinez.
We love you,
You're
Amanda.
going to be on here soon, so get ready. No, I have a question. Like, I don't know if you know the answer, but like, I know in terms of my dad's indigenous side that the kind of story gets broken a lot, and we don't truly know where kind of their or ancestors came from, because they were my great grandparents were taken at a very young age, put in a residential schools, and kind of that was, but we sort of know Cree Soto, maybe a bit of Lakota Sioux, but we don't concretely know because that was lost. So can I ask, do you concretely know at all where the roots of your family are
I do
from?
know on my grandmother's side where we come from. I do know that in 1813 there were three brothers. My great 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 was born in 1819. They were 1813, 1816, and 1819. These three brothers were the beginning of the Gaither James clan. So if you're in the South, and even a lot of places in the States, and you meet anyone with the last name Gaither, chances are they're related to me. Some of the James are as well. And we have our family tree. We have reunions every year, uh,
Wow,
except for
cool.
last year. And so my, let's see, Aunt Joe is my mom's aunt. Yes, Aunt Joe is my mom's aunt. So my great aunt Joe is still alive in Camden, South Carolina, where my family comes from. And she tells us all the stories. Last time I saw her was about 5 years ago. I drove down and I spoke to her about our history. We have a family church, we have a family graveyard, and we're very open to making sure that everybody in our family knows where we come from, what our struggles were, what our triumphs were.
Wow.
If I say to a cousin, I was just in DC, I was at this university, she'll say, well, you had a cousin who actually started the library there. So yeah,
Cool.
I have a very strong sense of family, and understanding where my roots came from, and understanding my responsibility, and making sure that I don't embarrass my family too much. I say
I hear
too much.
you. I hear you. Just a little bit is fine though. It's all good. You just you said something about your daughters earlier, but that's okay. And somebody's saying, "Who's this amazing musician, Shakura?" I don't know if maybe that's somebody you know or not, but I'm gonna answer. Shakura
Who's
has an
that?
incredible VLL music. So Shakura is just the best. You go check her out, go follow her. That's my answer. Your answer is my music is authentic. I'm like, Shakura's the best. Like, do we need to know anything else? So go check her music out. Go follow. Actually, we're gonna talk about your music in a second. But first, I also want to go back for a brief second and bring up a woman who you mentioned that you played with, who's also, I believe, producing your next album, and her name is Donna Grantis,
Donna
right?
Grantis,
Can you just tell
yes.
us a little better because it's so cool that she's producing your next album, and another woman I'm a fan of.
What can I tell you about Donna G? Donna G is, I can be in a room full of guitar players with my eyes closed, blindfolded, and only one ear working, a plug stopper in my other ear, and I will be able to tell you which guitar is hers, which one she's playing, or where she is in the room. I can hear her guitar and instinctively know that it's her. The very first time I heard her, there used to be this thing called VIP Jam that was run by the VIP band and Cindy Wilson out of, COVID brain, out of Revival. There we go, Revival
Yeah,
Bar.
yeah, revival.
And we used to do these jams there.
Hmm.
And people getting up, they're doing soul music, which is cool. Some people doing rock music, which is cool. Nobody ever got up and did blues. And
Hmm.
all of a sudden, this chick gets up and she starts playing guitar and she's playing blues. And I did something that you will never see me do. I ran up on her stage and started singing.
What?
I was like, clutching the pearls, that kind of moment. And started singing with her. And I'm like, "You're really cool. What's your name?" She's like, "Donna." I'm like, "Nice to meet you. Do you play around town?" She's like, "Yeah, sometimes." I'm like, "Oh my God, can we exchange numbers?" She's like, "Yeah, okay." She's
Oh
very,
my
very
God,
chill.
classic.
Donna's
This
very
is an
chill.
artist crush. I recognize
Yeah.
it. I've
Oh
felt it
yeah.
many times.
Totally. Totally. And then a couple years later, my album's out and James Bryan had produced it. And that's my dog, by the way. She's
Hi, dog.
not ringing the bell. She's tossing and turning. But if she rings that bell, I'm going to have to go because that means she has to go poop.
Oh no.
Just FYI. So yeah, since James Bryan had produced my first album, he was playing in my band and he had to go, because he's with Philosopher Kings, he's with Prozac. He's a big deal. And so I called Donna. I'm like, "Hey, what are you doing? Do you want to play in my band?" She's like, "No, okay, sure, yeah." So we started this thing of playing together. And then we applied for a Toronto Arts Council creation grant. And that was when I really got to know her. We got the grant and we started writing together. Every Tuesday we would meet and write.
Wow.
And it started with eating, always ate and drank tea for the first hour, talk for another hour, and then the last hour we would write. And we ended up writing most of the material for my second album, which was Brown Sugar, some of the material from my third album, which is Time, and two of the songs that we're actually using on my next album.
Wow.
Um, she has been described as my Keith, and I am her Mick.
Oh,
Um, she's one of my best friends. She
wow.
is my soulmate. She inspires me. And a few years ago, I got a grant again from the Toronto Arts Council, went down to Martinique and started writing. I just said I can write in Toronto, but I can write better if I'm not here.
Hmm.
So I took the last of my savings, bought a ticket, went down to Martinique, and then used the grant to live on while I was down there. And I wrote, and I would send her songs, or she would send me music. And by the time I got back, we had I don't know, 5, 6, 7 tunes. I don't even know how many. And then I drove all the way to Minneapolis where she was living and fleshed out some of the songs a bit more. And yeah, and then I decided I wanted to do this album. And I wanted to do it in a way that was different and unorthodox. I wanted to call on my community in a
Hmm.
way that I don't think that I had allowed myself to do before. There's a very specific way that you go about doing an album, don't you know? You determine your songs, you get a producer, you get a studio, all these things that you're supposed to do a certain way. I'm not a certain kind of girl. So
For
I
those of you who
wanted to,
hadn't realized yet. Yeah.
So I wanted to be able to play to my strength. My strength is I'm an artist and I want to be an artist. And yes, I can do the producing. Yes, I can do all of that other stuff, but I really wanted to just be an
Mhm.
artist and be
Mhm.
able to focus on that. So Donna is the producer of along with me of the album. But she specifically works on the musicality of the album,
Mhm.
the instrumental aspects of the album, on arranging the songs, making sure that all of that is down pat. And she's also been doing a lot of the comping and stuff now.
Wow.
Then I have Lance Anderson. He's my vocal producer. He made sure that my vocals were on point. Roger Costa is my logistics producer. He makes sure that the studios are booked and that the bands are going to be there, and he makes sure that I pay the the mixer, and we're looking for the people who master all of that stuff, so that I didn't have to work and worry
The
about the
dream.
minutia.
The
Yeah,
dream. The artist
yeah.
to be the artist.
Let's just do what we do. Like, let's do
Oh
what we're
man.
doing the album for. Let me be the singer, and let me trust these people. We would sit in the room. I would be in the booth, and they would sit in the room with a piece of paper with all the lyrics and a chart next to it. And each one of them would mark what they liked in every single take, and then we take all of those and the comp would be made from that. And I never had to worry. I
Mhm.
listened to the final comp and then I go, okay, I agree with all of you. Or, no, I want to hear something else. Or, you know, I believe we all should depend on our communities.
Mhm.
So having this community of friends and people I respect, and especially Donna, has been really special to me. I really
Wow.
have been enjoying it.
So everyone go check out Donna and every single name. I hope everyone's taking notes
Donna
on
Grantis.
everyone that Shakura is mentioning, because it's great. You could just listen to that everyone she's mentioned for days. But also Donna, for those of you who don't know, is also part of Prince's band in 20, I don't know,
Oh yeah, didn't I
14-ish,
mention that?
right?
That's like a
Isn't
little
that
small
wild?
detail. We don't have to talk about that.
We don't
Donna
have to talk
got
about that.
picked to be in Prince's band from him looking at her videos online,
Crazy.
and he called her up and said, "Do you want to be in my band?" And she's like, "I don't know. Let me think about it." And I don't know if that's true. I'm just making that up, but let's just make that more alternative facts. And yeah, she played in Third Eye Girl, and
Yeah, that's wild.
actually the first song off of that album that they did, I'm gonna get it wrong, Plectrum.
Oh yeah, plectrectum or
Thank
plectro.
you.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah,
That's Donna's song.
plectroelectrum or something. Yeah.
Yes, that's Donna's song. She wrote that song. It's on
Wow.
her album. And then Prince said, "Can we do that over?" Can you imagine Prince saying, "Can we do your song over? Do you mind?"
No.
And I would be like, "No, I don't want you to. It's perfect the way it is.
Of
Why
course
are
you
you
would.
bothering me?" Yeah.
You're like, that
Stop
you're not going to be
following me.
authentic. If you sing
Yeah.
my song, it won't be authentic anymore.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, no, no. I'm
No.
blocking you on all socials, Prince.
Oh my gosh, Akura, you're too much.
She's
So
pretty
we have a
nice.
question here from virtual, what is it? Virtual Listening Lounge? Oh, that's what
Ah,
VLO
yeah.
Music is.
Hi,
Awesome.
Andre.
Oh,
Yes.
Andre, got it. So hi,
Yeah.
Andre. And he wants to know if Donna played on Taking It to the Streets of on your cover. And
Um,
hola, Okan. Hola.
Um, so the Taking It to the Street that is on video right now, she did not play on that. But who played on that? Brooke Blackburn and Cecile DeQuingy from Montreal are on that track.
Cool.
On the track that's on the album, Donna did not play on that either, but she did produce it.
Awesome. So when are we
Yeah.
going to hear this next album?
I don't know. I don't know. It's coming.
You don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. Time is so, why is everybody so caught up with time? Why is everybody always worried about when, why?
No, I'm not caught up with time. I'm caught up with the fact that I want to hear your album.
I know, but isn't anticipation the best? I mean, that Heinz commercial was not wrong, you know?
That should be your whole music video. Just the ketchup coming down from the Heinz.
Anticipation. Yeah, no, I am working on getting it done not as soon as possible, but as best as possible, as soon as possible.
I love
And
it.
we're definitely looking at finishing, especially because I got a factor grant. So now I have timelines that I have to sort of follow.
I hear you.
I've been working on it actually every day. I'm listening to the music. I'm loving a lot of the music, surprisingly. Because when you listen to yourself, you're
Everyone
like,
agrees. Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, I
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah.
Everyone
Yeah.
agrees here. When are we going to hear the album? We need more music during these times.
You're on
Oh,
my
this is,
back.
technically, they're in your face. Just
And you are
well, we
making
can't hear. We
weird.
can't hear. I don't know why I said can't hear. Can't wait. We can't wait to hear it. I hate timelines, but appreciate the fun. Says Okan. 100%. Factor is the best and the worst. If there's anyone from Factor here, thank you.
Thank you, Factor.
Danielle,
Thank
as
you.
best as possible. Yeah, awesome. So we'll just stay tuned. Fab Club will post about it as well, of course, when Shakura is releasing, and let everybody know. But just go check her out. Just follow her and everything she does, please, forever.
Thank
Oh, hi, Briga. Amazing, from Montreal. When are we walking our dogs again? Okay, we're getting off topic here. In the business world, we call this a squirrel. Okay, squirrel. Yeah. Soon. We have to finish this because I know that dog is going to want to go out soon.
She's right here. She's right here.
Hi. Oh, she's waiting. Okay. So just a couple more. I really want to make sure that we touch on what I believe is like, oh, hello, darling. So hello. That we touch on a couple of things that I know, like we've talked about before, and that are really important in sort of the jazz, blues, America, black, white world. And I want to ask you if there's anything in particular that you kind of want to tell us about, your opinion about that, your point of view about that. What do you think about that? Like, do you think there's enough recognition of the Black voice? And, I just watched this document, a little excerpt of this documentary, The Land Where the Blues Began. And I wanted to ask if you saw that. It's by Alan Lomax, who my mom works for the Lomax archives and on the Spanish collection. And he and his dad went down to the southern United States, like in the 30s, and recorded all these old blues songs in the prisons, like when you weren't allowed to go, like whites weren't allowed to go there. And they recorded that, and some of that ended up on Oh Brother Where Art Thou, and all these things. But I know that, but a lot of people don't know this. So what are
He's
you?
part of the Smithsonian, right? He's part of the archives down there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
the artist collection. Yeah.
Cool.
I got
Mom,
a
comment
lot of
here if
those
you want.
songs.
And ACE, which is Arts for Cultural Equity, I believe, is his daughter's foundation in New York, and she now has all of his collection out of there. But yes, I know that, but I have the privilege of coming from like a very musical and ethnomusicological background. So what might seem obvious to me might not be obvious to others. The fact that blues, jazz, and a lot rock, a lot of other music, hip hop, R&B, that part maybe some people know, but that this comes from like a heavy Black background in the United States. And is there anything that you want to sort of address or talk to or let people know about that? And if not, we can let it go.
Gosh, as the spokesperson for all Black people, I feel that that my words be taken for as the rule.
So
That's
funny.
Feeling
me. Oh my God! You're the spokesperson for yourself.
Hey, wait, I have to ask, how declassé and tacky would it be for me to get up right now and get my dog a bone? Is that totally acceptable while I'm talking?
Well, once you've said it, it's like pretty much done.
Okay, so let me just go. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to go get my dog.
It's live. It's real life. It's COVID.
Totally
This
live.
is, I consider, this is kind of like one of the cool things that COVID has sort of given us, which is like insight into people's lives that we wouldn't normally have. Normally we'd see you, as a diva on stage. We have kind of like the privilege to kind of see inside your life here, and that's kind of what these are. All about.
This is like, we're giving bones.
Do what you got to do.
Listen, here, Brooklyn. There you go.
Love it.
Now she'll go and she'll sit by the door and she'll be quiet. She'll stop biting my finger. I wasn't showing the pain that I felt as she was biting my finger, but it really hurt.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, you definitely deal with that. So sorry, correction. My mom says Association for Cultural Equity is the Lomax Archive, not the Smithsonian. The Library of Congress is the custodian. There we go. Library of Congress.
Okay. Thanks, Mom.
Thank you, so everyone go check it out. There's a lot of files that are open to the public of his recordings. So you can Google Association for Cultural Equity, or we'll put the website here, and go listen to these. They have old flamenco recordings, old Spanish, Italian, lots of stuff. So yeah, let's get back to it.
So you and I recently worked together. I don't know if I'm allowed to say what yet. I don't know.
I don't know either.
But so I'll just say we worked together, and my opening statement was one that you actually questioned, which I found really interesting.
Uh-oh.
My opening My opening statement was, "Hi, my name is Shakura S'Aida. I believe I believe in what did I don't even know what I said I believed in, but I said I don't believe in appropriation or racism." And you questioned me on that, and it became the topic of discussion for much of our time together, along with the other group of people we were working with. So where I stand when it comes to these musics from the diaspora that have been distributed to nations and celebrated by nations. I think that all music should be used and celebrated by nations, but I don't believe in racism. And I think that's what a lot of what happens. I think that we take these musics, or these musics are taken from us. Some of them we've let go of, and other people have taken up. But when they've taken them up, they haven't brought us with them. They've taken it and claimed it as their own. And there's a problem with that. You know, there's a problem when you can name everything that Beethoven had for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you know, and the relationship that he had with his mother. But, well, I know not you, but I bet you Elizabeth could.
I think she's here. I think she's here.
I'm totally calling her
Elizabeth, can you tell us what he had for breakfast, lunch, and dinner right now?
But, you know, but you can't tell me anything about Scott Joplin, or even who Scott Joplin is. There's a problem when you can talk about your connection to jazz music because you grew up in Toronto and you went to the Rex Hotel, or you grew up in New York and you went to the Blue Note, but you can't talk to me about the struggle that went on that brought those people finally into these places, you know, where Blacks weren't allowed at first, or where this music was not celebrated inside. It was a music that was outside of the norm, you know, and if you went there, you were being risque, you know. There's a problem with not knowing the history of this music and not bringing that forward. There's a problem with it because Black lives have not seemed to matter. Mm-hmm. See, when you erase this from the culture, from the music, it's a lot easier to really erase this from our lives, and to assume that we don't need to be recognized. We don't need to be acknowledged. It makes it a lot easier for us to be oppressed, ignored, suppressed, murdered. It makes it a lot easier.
To clarify what you mean by the word eracism, because I'm not sure if everyone's heard that. Can you fill us in there? What do we mean here by eracism?
People who take up hip hop, and everybody on their hip hop team is white. And it's, or people who take up jazz music, and everybody in their band and in their experience is white, and there's no thought to the Blackness that created this music or helped this music to move forward. This erasing of us from this music that is indigenous to us. You know, I used this example before. If I was doing polkas, people would want to know my connection to German music. If I just said, well, I just like the music, and that's why me and this whole group of Blacks and Chinese are now going to, you know, be playing polkas everywhere we go. People are going to ask about our connection, but why don't we ask about, you know, people's connection to jazz when we don't see any Black people on there? You know, why are we allowed to just play this music as though it was just ours? I'm not saying that we have to constantly pay homage to the Blackness, but we should not be able to erase it. You know, there has to be an acknowledgement of the history that went into this music, because it is not a historical less music. Do you understand what I mean by that? This music was created out of oppression. This music was created out of moments where people were not allowed to breathe. People were not allowed to walk. People were not allowed to live. So how is it that this music can then be adapted and all of that history be erased?
Or not even known at all.
Not known.
Some people.
Yeah. You know, Stevie Ray Vaughan is the greatest guitar player ever. Who did Stevie Ray Vaughan learn from? Who were his mentors? What was the history behind his mentors? You know, what drove them to make those sounds, and what sparked in Stevie Ray Vaughan's mind to make him connect to that brought it forward? That's what I want to hear. I don't want to just hear about Stevie Ray Vaughan. I want to hear about the people who came before him, because those are your real mentors. Those are the real inspirations that you're forgetting about, that you have erased.
And that's why you mentioned at the beginning of this interview the importance of recognizing your teachers and your mentors.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Definitely. I mean,
So
this
can
we
I
can
get off
get.
my soapbox now? It's getting kind of hot up here.
Can you get off your soapbox? We can start and end and talk about whatever you want. This can go on forever. I just wanted to make sure we talked about it. I know that, we've talked about it a lot over the past few months, and I think it's an important topic of conversation to even bring up, even if we don't delve completely into it. But I want it here, I want it present, and I want people talking about it. Danielle's appreciating it. Being a conscious person is wanting to look at those links between everyone. This is why you're a total musician. You know the history of the music. So, it's just important to have here and to bring up, I think. So
I think so too. You're right. Absolutely.
Thank you. It all starts with the conversation and to recreate awareness, At least there are some household names like Ella and Louis and stuff though, right? So got to keep those present.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, yeah, absolutely. I think it's even like we were talking about, I think one of the names that came up was Miles Davis, Some Kind of Blue, and the mathematical equations of the notes that he was playing on his album and how important that was and how far out that was. But that mathematical equation, those things that he was doing musically, had a emotional and an emotional base. What was going on in his life then. Billy had just died. He was in Paris where there wasn't the racism that he had been facing back in the States. He was being asked to stay in Paris or stay in France. Like all of these things allowed him to feel what he felt and put it into music. And when you have to leave the place of your birth in order to feel like a man or a woman, in order to feel human, what does that do to you musically? What does that mean?
That's a few albums right there.
Yeah. So if you're in Humber, if you're anywhere at York or any of these schools and you're learning about these musical giants and you haven't learned about their lives, then your teachers are not doing the music or you justice. They are not teaching you what you need to learn in order to become the best musician that you can be. And it is on you to learn that history.
Ole.
I
So you know what?
and
I'm just
thinking York now.
I'm just thinking as you talk that we should really post, and we are going to post after this conversation, some names to go and listen and read about. And just, let's all widen our knowledge of these musics and this rich history, and just go and listen, let's spend a few days listening to some good music. What do you say, Shakura?
I think that's a great idea. But I also think that it's on everyone who wants to who wants to not be performative. It's on them as well to look, who is your favorite jazz artist? Who's your favorite blues artist? Who's your favorite R&B artist? Who's your favorite Black artist from the 40s? What were they going through at that time? You talk about Ma Rainey's Black Bottom was just playing on Netflix, right? And it's a great, entertaining film. It's a great play by August Wilson. But the best part about it is the illustration of what was actually happening at that time. These men and women who worked and were oppressed and their music was stolen. How was that allowed to happen? That's the story. That's the story. And yet still they sang, and yet still they created, because it was the only thing that they knew to do. So I think it really is on everyone at this time to not be performative about Black history, about Indigenous history, about the culture that has created the music and the habits that we have, to dig deeper.
Hard cycle to break. But at least it starts with talking about it. Shakura.
Yeah,
there's one.
absolutely.
I was gonna say, Shakura, thank you so much, but there's one more thing we definitely have to talk about and celebrate right now.
What?
Batwoman's mother is right here with us.
Who is?
Batwoman's mother. Oh my
Oh,
God. How could I forget to mention this? For those of you who don't know, Shakura is Batwoman's mother in the new release on Netflix. Please go check it out. So awesome.
well,
Shakura, how did that
it's
happen?
actually on CW.
Oh,
On
sorry.
CW and Showcase in Canada, and if you've seen it already, you know that I was Batwoman's mama. I
That's so
was.
awesome.
Um,
Bat
Operative
Mama,
word
yes.
was.
Bat Mama.
And somebody called me Bat Mama. Yeah, I kind of like that. It's kind of cool.
I'm loving that.
Yeah. Yeah. That was that. Okay. Can I just say how cool it was?
Yeah.
Can I fangirl for a minute? Like I grew up with comic books. I grew up with, Batman on TV, watching Eartha Kitt be Catwoman, Superman, all that stuff in black and white, Tamara, black and white.
Love it.
I'm a geek. I'm like a major sci-fi superhero, fantastical geek. And I was on Titans for one episode, and that was kind of cool. But when I auditioned, I literally forgot about the audition right after it happens, because you can't hold it, right? You can't hold on to something and think it's going to come. You have to let go of it. So when it actually happened, I was like, that's nice. Didn't get into it. Then I, flew to Vancouver. Didn't get into it. Then, I did costume. Didn't get into it. And then I'm on set, and I meet Javicia, and I actually started crying.
Oh my God.
Because representation matters. It's so cliche, but it's everything. To look at this woman, this beautiful Black woman, and know that she is going to be inspiring other little girls to be superheroes. They're not going to have to pretend to be, Batman and then pretend that they're Batwoman. They're not going to have to. She's there. She's real in a way. Do you know what I mean? It's huge. And it's not huge because I'm Batwoman's mama. It's huge because of the moment of what this means for a lot of people. But it's also kind of cool because I'm Batwoman's mama. Because
Yeah. Hello. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, but what you're saying ties in exactly to what we were talking about before. Like, bringing back this part of the culture, important part of the culture, the culture back, and putting it in front of people, and representation, presence, things for people to look up to. I mean, all the women that were on stage yesterday in the States as well, that were across the board diverse. No Indigenous women, just got to say, but
No,
but just had to put that in there. But Black, Latino, just like incredible. And now, like the poet said, like Kamala saying, like you're saying, like Javicia saying, we're here and you can be great. Don't be afraid. What's that quote you said earlier in this interview? Don't be afraid to be great, or you can accept yourself to be great.
that we're all
Now's the
meant to be
time.
great. That's what the universe means for us. We're meant to be great,
Yeah.
and full of greatness, and we're meant also to lift each other up into greatness. We're not meant to just be great ourselves and be alone in that. We're meant to hold hands with as many people as possible who are willing and open to it, and all be great together, and when we do that, then the light and the light is just amazing. I say this in the most sincere way possible. How amazing our lives would be if we grabbed hold of each other and brought each other into greatness more. The more we do that, the fuller all of our lives get to be, and yeah, that moment yesterday, those moments yesterday, it was a big indicator of that, to have this young woman on there reciting this poem, and the part of a poem that says, to think, this little skinny kid, child of a single mother, can one day dream to be
Descendant of
president.
slaves.
Yes, descendant of slaves, be, hoping one day to be a president, is now, speaking for one, in front of one. Absolutely. You should be able to dream that. You should be able to think that that's what you're going to do. All things impossible are possible.
Oh, I
That's
love
my mom.
that.
Yeah.
I love that. We got to quote you on absolutely everything you said. There's too many good ones. I don't know how we're going to choose.
Oh no.
But guys, you know, this is our longest interview. Shakura, you've been like incredible to talk to. I could just talk to you for days. So,
Thank you. Well, we have talked a lot. So
yeah. Yeah, we have done that already. We could do it again.
yeah.
Easy. So, yeah. So, AA Wasti wants to know if we're going to hear a small piece. Now, we've heard little snippets of you. I won't, no, zero pressure. I know this is not your thing. I'm just reading what the audience is requesting. Okay. So, if you wanted to sing anything, now would be the moment. Zero pressure. And if not, we will hear you live and in person and as soon as possible. But I see her thinking, pondering something.
Yeah, we lost a lot of people. A lot of people lost a lot of people last year. And personally, in my community, we lost mentors. We lost Jay Jackson, brother of Sean Jackson. We lost, sorry, I'm going to start getting emotional. Lost Salome Bay. We lost Denise Jones. And then we lost Amoy Levy. And Amoy Levy was a gospel singer, gospel choir leader. She was a background singer, and she was absolutely amazing. She and her sister Cecile always brought a smile on everyone's face. She had an ear, like a crazy ear. Like if I ever sang with her, I could always tell when I sang off because her eyebrow would just kind of go up. And I go off a lot, like I don't sing in tune a lot. And so I have not felt, my spirit has not felt music. But in honor of Amoy, who we will be saying goodbye to in a couple of days, I will sing a verse of a song that I wrote with Keb Mo. We wrote a song called Clap Your Hands and Moan. And it was written because I wanted to write a song about women moaning. Women moan all the time. You know, we feel the depth of it. And I'm not talking about sexually, but I'm talking about or mm-hmm, or mm-mm. There's all these moans. And as sisters, we always know what these moans mean. You know, men might not know what we mean, but sisters, we understand what every single moan means, the tone of it. And Keb said to me that in the South, they say that if you're trying to pray, but you're afraid that the devil is going to intercept your prayers, then you moan. Wow. Because the devil won't hear you when you moan. So this is for Amoy, and it's just a little verse. I know God is listening every single day. I know He is with me every time I pray. But if you need to call up heaven and you've got the devil on the phone, stomp your feet, clap your hands, and moan. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I got nothing to say.
Love you, Amoy.
Sending love. Thank you so much, Shakura, from the bottom of my heart. Wow, thank you. So beautiful.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see you in person. Give you a hug.
I know. We got to do that.
Let us know when you're performing in any way, shape, or form, and we will all be there.
Thank you.
That one brought tears to my eyes. That's a rare thing, you know. So for me. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank
you. I
you.
loved the moaning chorus. That's my favorite thing. And everything was beautiful from top to bottom. This conversation was incredible. Thank you so much, Shakura. Really, thank you, thank you, thank you. We're so honored to be able to listen to you and talk to you, speak with you. We'll be posting about Shakura and letting everybody know And Shakura, anything else you want to say? This is your time. This is your chance.
Look, let's just be kind to each other. Let's just be kind to each other. Let's look after each other. And just because you have a mask on doesn't mean you can't smile and say hello to the person passing you by. You know, smile with your eyes, smiles, you know.
Yeah,
It's not just a
totally.
phrase in a reality show. And say hello to people. Say hello. People are dying to connect. People are dying to be seen right now, literally and figuratively. Say hello. It doesn't cost you anything. You can still say it even though you got a mask over your mouth.
And even if in the dead of winter. I agree, 100%. And that's what Fab Club we want to bring to everyone. Hi, Nora from Montreal. We got Montreal, Rwanda. We got people from all over here checking in and listening. So thank you, everybody. And that's kind of how Fab Club was born, with the need to connect during the pandemic. Fabulous collaboration. I mean, that Fab Collab. It's all about collaborating, working together, uplifting each other, like you're saying, and spreading the word of beautiful artists and people that work in the arts industry and the music industry, the performance industry, and using this as a platform to talk about these issues and to learn about each other. So as cheesy as that is, that's what it is.
It's not
You know?
cheesy. It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect.
Yeah, so go check us out. Thanks, Shakura. Go check us out at fabclub.ca. Follow us here. Follow Shakura. Next week we'll be with Leah, with Annabelle Chovstek, and we'll be posting about that as well. And thank you so much, everybody, and thank you, Shakura.
All right, my love. I'll talk to you
Have a
soon.
beautiful day.
Thank you. Safe travels.
Thank you. Bye,
Bye-bye.
guys. Have a good day.